Hello everybody, welcome back to a new video. My name is Sarah and today we're going to be talking about my August TBR. Now if I look kind of tired, it's because I just could not be bothered to put on makeup today. So you're seeing my normal bare face. Yeah, so you know I might have a little bit of shadows under there, but that's why I look tired or sick or whatever. I'm not sick, I'm perfectly fine. But yeah, I just did not feel like putting on makeup. So yeah, my August TBR. Now, I kind of had a hard time putting this one together. I've been in like a mood where I am very, very indecisive of kind of what I want to read. So I feel like I'm in like a borderline slump, but I also feel like I want to read just like everything all at once, and so I can't decide what I actually want to focus on. But I did end up picking out 5 books that I have been itching to get to. I think these 5 will stick this month. I know for sure there are 2 that I definitely want to get to. The first one actually being a continuation of a series, and that is A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa here. This is the 3rd book in the Ember Quartet. I have read the first 2 books over the past couple of months, so I have talked about this series a little bit recently, but in case you haven't watched any of my recent TBRs or wrap-ups, the Ember Quartet is a 4-book series by Sabaa here, the first book being An Ember in the Ashes. And this series follows Leia and Elias. They live in kind of a militaristic empire. So one day Leia's house gets raided and her brother gets arrested, and she enlists the help of a group of rebels, and they agreed to break her brother out of prison if she infiltrates the military academy and acts as a spy for them. So she agrees to do that, and there she meets Elias, who is one of the top students in the academy, and he is also one of their most unwilling and has been looking to escape for a while now. And as their paths cross while they're at the academy, things start kind of obviously happening, and there's a series of events that certainly start cascading due to them crossing paths, and also due to Elias's upcoming graduation. I really enjoyed the first 2 books. They're super fast paced and really addictive to read, so I'm really excited to see where this one goes. This is, like I said, the 3rd book, so there's this one and then the 4th book left in the series. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this one. And then the next book that I definitely plan to get to in August is For the Wolf by Hannah Whitten. I actually am going to be buddy reading this book with Rachel over at Storybound Soul. I will leave a link to both her blog and her Instagram down below in the comments. I highly recommend checking her out. Her and I have been friends since kindergarten, and we both have loved reading for a very long time, so I'm really excited to do a buddy read with her. So this is kind of a Red Riding Hood retelling, or at least like loosely inspired by Red Riding Hood. The tagline, it says on the back, is the first daughter is for the throne, the second daughter is for the wolf. So Red is our main character, and she's the second daughter, and she is meant to be a sacrifice to the wolf of the Wilderwood in order to hopefully have him send the gods that have now become monsters back to their own realm. And so that's kind of the basis of this story. I know that there's supposed to be like a really creepy sentient forest, and that the wolf is not actually all he's, you know, the myth has made him out to be. And so I'm just really excited for this. This is a book that I've been highly anticipating for this year. It came out a couple months ago, a month or 2 ago, and so I'm really excited to get to this one. I think it's supposed to be a duology. I know Whitten's already talked about the 2nd book, For the Throne, and I'm but so I think there's only supposed to be 2, but I'm very excited for this one. So those are the 2 books that I definitely want to get to in August, and then after that, like I said, I've had a very hard time picking out what I wanted to read next, but I do have 3 other books that I have been itching to get to, and so I am hopefully going to stick with these 3. The first one being the first in the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. So it says just Mistborn here, but that's like the name of the trilogy, and I think this one is most often known as The Final Empire. So I have been really itching to dive into either Brandon Sanderson or Robin Hobb's epic fantasy books. They're both like staples in the epic fantasy genre, and I just happened to pick up a Brandon Sanderson book first in terms of like acquiring it, and so I've been really itching to start delving into his works. So I kind of looked up on where to start with his works because they're all interconnected, even if they're not in the same necessarily like series. All of his books are interconnected in the same like world and universe. And I've been told that the Final Empire or the Mistborn trilogy is where you should start. If you have heard differently, please let me know. But this is kind of what I found from the little bit of research that I did looking up on where people suggest to start in his works. So this is about a world where a long time ago, there was like the hero and evil battle, and the hero lost the battle, and so the evil has been reigning for like 1,000 years, and it's this really desolate world. And now it's, like I said, 1,000 years later, and there have been several attempts to overthrow this evil entity that have failed, but now there seems to be a new one that they're pretty confident they're going to succeed, because they have kind of at their head of their plan, their little linchpin is a criminal mastermind and a street urchin that they are relying on to overthrow this evil entity. I've heard this trilogy ends in like a really wild way. People have pretty like extreme reactions to how the trilogy ends, and so I'm very intrigued and interested to dive into this, and hopefully I enjoy it and will continue into the rest of Brandon Sanderson's works. And then I'm also hoping to get to A Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I'm actually going to read the synopsis in this book because I don't know much like about what this is about, and that's kind of how I have wanted to keep it. And the inside cover synopsis on the book is pretty vague, and I've purposely not looked at the Goodreads one because I figure it's probably a little more detailed, and I just, for whatever reason, I don't really know why, I kind of want to keep this, I want to go into this as blind as possible. But it says, a stunning new adventure set in the kingdoms of the Remnant, a formidable outlaw family that claims to be the first among nations, a son destined to lead, thrust suddenly into power, 3 fierce young women of the Rattan, the Queen's premier guard, a legendary street thief leading a mission determined to prove herself, a dark secret that is a threat to the entire continent. When outlaw leader meets reformed thief, a cat-and-mouse game of false moves ensues, bringing them intimately together in a battle that may cost them their lives and their hearts. So I love cat-and-mouse games. I love stories that center like outlaws and like street games and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I just wanted to show this map. It's just so pretty. I just love like the art style like along the bottom and everything. I don't know. I was looking at it earlier and it was just like, oh, it's so pretty. But yeah, this is the first in, I think, also a duology. I know it for sure has a second book. I don't know if it's going to be longer than that or not. But I've been looking forward to this. I've seen it kind of loosely compared to Six of Crows. I know everybody compares any sort of like heist street game-esque story to Six of Crows, but I do love Six of Crows, so if you're going to compare it to this, I will probably like it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. And then the last book that I am definitely hoping to get to in August is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, Andy Weir also wrote The Martian, which I absolutely loved. And this is kind of compared to The Martian in terms of like, it's a outer space survival story, so I'm really looking forward to that. So this follows our main character who wakes up on a spaceship and his 2 fellow astronauts are dead, and he does not remember anything, and so his memories are slowly coming back to him as he realizes that he is on this last-ditch mission in order to hopefully save humankind, and so he's, trying to remember who he is and kind of what his job is, as well as trying to solve this problem of humankind's extinction. And like I said, it's compared to The Martian. I loved The Martian, so I have really good feelings about this one, and I have seen several people just absolutely rave about it, so I'm very excited about it, and I was definitely itching to pick this one up. So these are the 5 books that I definitely plan to get to in August. I know my TBRs have typically been 6 books lately, and I've been kind of reading anywhere between 6 and 7 books each month, but I kind of just, like I said, could not decide what I wanted to read, so I decided to keep my TBR a little on the shorter side this time around, and just kind of wing it if I end up making my way through all 5 of these in August. Definitely let me know down in the comments below if you've read any of these books or if any of these have been on your radar at all. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you consider sticking around and subscribing, but as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!